What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premzy TV. And as you can see, it's a special show today. We got man like Cass up in the building. First of all, we're going to introduce the panel. What are you telling me, Cass?
All good, man. Draw, but I'm smiling. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Isn't that right,
Yeah.
Steve?
Last but not least, we got the big man up in the place. Big Steve. First live since the defeat at Man City. Talk to me. What are you telling me, bro? You good? Well, I don't think you're that
Yeah, it
good, but
is.
it is what it is.
Listen, I'm only coming on here because it's you. I've been hiding in the house so you're lucky, man.
You know what, bro? I appreciate the love, man. I appreciate the love. But first of all, people, we're going to touch on a few of the results from over the weekend. We're not going to deep dive into all of them. Just going to touch on a few. As you can see, we've got a United man, a City man, and an Arsenal man. So it's predominantly going to be around that. But first of all, there's no place to start but Liverpool, Anfield, Man City. Steve, give me your full feelings on the rundown of that game, bro. Because for a neutral, bro, it's one of the best games I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never too confident going in Anfield because it's just one of them moody grounds for me. I've always said it, got that horrible feeling going in, coming out. Just need to get in there, get it done. We've not done too well there, I'll be honest. Since the fans, when the fans want their COVID, wipe the floor with them. When the fans are there, they take it to the next level. All the games are end to end. But this week, going into it, we're on the back of a derby win, undefeated. Haaland's hit the ground better than ever. They've got a few injuries. You're looking at it and you're thinking, if there's ever a time to get a result, it's this game. You know, they had a bit of a boost in midweek with Rangers and that. I know it's Rangers, but they put 7 past them. But it's just who was better on the day. And like you say, first half, I thought we did okay. I thought the game was the thing with City Liverpool, the game is set at a fast pace. It's so fast and frantic. It's non-stop. And it's same. Liverpool pressed us early doors. We calmed it down a little bit. We started to get a foot in the game. Haaland missed a header at the back post. He had one where he went through, tried to chip Alisson. So the game was decent. Half time, I'm sat there. I'm not overly worried. The 3 at the back is not for me, but I'm not Pep Guardiola. You've got to, you've got to trust him. And listen, it is what it is. The goal that got disallowed in the stadium, we didn't have a clue. I came home, rewatched it. Yeah, I get it. But I also get what Pep was saying. The game, there was more fouls and 50-50s and shirt pulling in that game. And the ref decided he was letting it play on. Second, the goal goes in, pulls it back for that. So I get that. But, okay, it is what it is. Salah goes through one-on-one. Ederson makes a wicked save. City's riding the luck a little bit. And then you've got to give credit where credit's due. Kevin De Bruyne gets a free kick on the outside, absolutely wastes it, straight into Alisson. Fair play to the keeper. He's done an Ederson style long punt up the pitch. And I said this on my stream before, Liverpool, they're not a very intricate passing team. A lot of their stuff is long. You know what I mean? They spray the ball. Van Dijk sprays it over the top. They were getting in behind us with Salah. Gets the ball. But for me, it's defending by Cancelo. It's schoolboy. All you've got to do there is get right up his arse, push him onto the ball, let him go back into midfield with it, get your defenders back and start again. You don't dive in. They tell you at school, innit? Don't dive in and commit yourself.
You can see Kyle Walker's a massive miss, innit? Like in that position. Mate. If he was there, I don't think there's going to be many people that are going to test him for speed. And even the way he bullies up man as well, man, it's a madness. But are you not surprised, though, how, obviously, for me, this is one of the poorest Liverpool sides I've seen for a number of years. Obviously, they've always been at the top with City. And this season, it just hasn't kind of clicked for him. You get me? Obviously, we beat them at home as well. And are you not just surprised that they managed to just turn it up against City? Because going into the game, bro, I didn't think Liverpool had a hope in hell until like the morning before I started to think, should I put a bet on?
To be honest, they got it was a make or break. They lost to Arsenal, and then they had to go home and they had to put a performance in because there was little rumblings around Liverpool. Or has Klopp lost it? Is he going to get off? We're not the same teams. But what better opportunity is there to have a bit of a kickstart of your season when you're playing the champions at home? The fortunate thing for us is, they won yesterday and they deserved it. 3 points. But the 10 points behind us, the 14 behind Arsenal, do you know what I mean? The way they celebrated it, I thought they'd won the league, you know what I mean? But they haven't, you know what I mean? And listen, I'll take I'll take the hoodoo at Anfield every season as long as we're walking around with a Premier League trophy in May. And that's what seems to happen, innit? You can huff, puff, do all you want, beat Man City, you know, all that shit. But at the end of the season's when it counts, you know what I mean? When that trophy's being lifted and who's lifting it. And they won't be lifting it.
Now, I hear that. Cass, why do you think Man City can't beat Liverpool at Anfield, man? What's going on? What's your perspective of it?
I'll be honest, yeah. I think Pep just got it wrong. I'll be honest. I just feel like he maybe. It's a bit like when Arteta, your man came to Old Trafford and was a little bit naive. United was down and out slightly. He only got one good result at that time against Liverpool. Played the way they think you can play and go win. And obviously Liverpool played a little bit deeper. Credit to Klopp on that part. But Pep, it's just the way he's just set up. It just didn't really work. I think he overthought it a little bit. Pep kind of does that in the bigger games sometimes. He does overthink it. I think we've evidently seen that against in the Champions League as well. Like sometimes just that's the way it comes across. And the worst part is he got the Liverpool crowd up and firing. I don't think he learned his lesson. Once you get the Anfield up and firing, that is 12th man in gear. You're stupid for doing that, mate. Like I'll be honest, you
know what, bro? As well, I was gonna say Van Dijk for me. I think that was probably his best game he's had this season.
I think that's all of their best. All of their players. That's all their players' best.
I know,
game
but
this season.
see Haaland, bro. Haaland, bro, this guy's a different animal, bro. And in order to kind of contain him and make no silly mistakes against him and win the balls, bro, I think I got to give Van Dijk a lot of credit because I've been hearing a lot of people saying Van Dijk's washed and he's done out here.
Yeah,
but you can see that quality's still there, innit?
It's not the supply, man. Kevin De Bruyne was the one they stopped. Haaland, a lot of the time, never had anything. But when he did get a chance, when he did get the ball and bring it down, you could tell they were a bit uneasy with it. Van Dijk made a great clearance at the end when Cancelo put it across. He put it over the bar with the header. But don't forget, they left him free at the back post with an header. Haaland's heading ability is not the greatest. He's not the greatest, let me tell you that. He's had about 5 or 6 this season. He should have buried. But it is what it is. He's a danger. We're a different animal with Haaland. It's a danger. Pep's still tinkering about with his free at the back, inverted fullback thing. It's just Pep Guardiola's way of doing things. But the thing is, when you're trying things like that, at Manchester City, every game's big. So if it doesn't work and you drop points, you're under the microscope. You know what I mean? I've seen us go and beat Paris Saint-Germain at home with Zinchenko at false 9. If that backfires...
Zinchenko's on top class, mate. Don't get started on Zinny. Thank you very much for it. And Jesus.
This is the weird shit. Well, I think Pep was sick of Liverpool bottling it, so he ended up giving Arsenal a few players and that to make you better, a bit of a title challenge.
Hey, don't try and come in for us now, fam, because we're fucking 4 points clear. You know what I'm trying to say?
You know me, I stuck up. I was there with you when they were all trying to kill me.
You know what? I was gonna touch on that a little bit later on down the line, because for people that don't know, Big Steve told me, listen, Premsy, time with Arteta, he's going to come good. But if you know me, man's an impatient guy and that, you get me. He had nothing to represent him for any job before. I'm thinking, fuck all of this. You know what I'm saying?
People look, man, outside, they go and want out the Emirates that day. We're going to kill me, innit? One, because Rodri just scored a last-minute winner. But 2, they were like, Arteta, they were growling. Wanted some serious nutters outside that ground that day, man. Even you was going to
one of them. You know what though, is we played really well that game as well, and to come away and lose and take nothing from the game, bro, it was just disheartening, innit? But look, I want to touch on the refs because I heard Bernardo Silva touch after the game, and I think what he said was absolutely bang on. So obviously, don't mark me word for word because I can't read lines in it, but he said something along these lines that if you're going to ref the game and let things go from early, you got to let things go all the way through. You can't then come back and pick and choose to overturn a decision when you're normally reffing it that way. Otherwise, give a foul early and keep it. What you say, Cass?
What is it? What is this on the Haaland thing?
No, this is
Fabinho when he dragged the shirt.
Yeah.
No, because he
didn't
matter
in the game though. Listen, let's say finishing it off though, and then you can blow it out. Just you're saying though, throughout the whole game, innit? Like there was chances,
Bernardo
even on Liverpool side as well, man. Exactly.
Yeah, Bernardo pulled Salah down. He didn't give it, and that's what Klopp was going on about. And there was 1 or 2 little fouls in the midfield. And to be fair, the ref let the game flow because the game was that fast. And I thought, okay, that's fine. But Anthony Taylor was stood next to that challenge by Haaland and told Fabinho to get up. And Fabinho just got up. But it's obviously because the goal's gone in, they start scrutinising things. I get it. I mean, listen,
there was another foul in that play though. There was another foul in that play that would have got disallowed anyways, so it wouldn't have mattered.
But I'm not even having that as a foul.
I like this though.
Yeah,
the
but
thing
I'm not
I
even
like
having
this.
it though.
I like this. See, even dragging Bernardo down, I love it. I'm like, yeah, so get him wound up. We do all the fucking time.
How can they say the Haaland one's a foul when he's gone for the ball? The goalie's put his hands down to block it.
Do you know what, though? My opinion, Steve, I think it was a foul because if he didn't get dropped by Haaland, listen, if he didn't get dropped by Haaland, he would have had that ball. He was right next to him. You know what I mean?
You know
City player wouldn't have nicked in.
You know why that's not a foul? No, so many times. If you're gonna have the same consistency, then let's talk about the drag shirts in the box too, because there was lots of that as well. So why is it not a penalty when a player decides to drag a shirt? There was lots of that, but when it's outside the area, why is it a foul then? This is my issue with the referees as well, with VAR especially. They don't know what they're doing.
That handball last week with Arsenal-Liverpool, who was it that handballed it in the box? Was it Gabriel?
Gabriel.
Yeah.
I'm telling you now that if that happens in 10 games, it's given in 8.
I agree, and I agree with that as well.
The issue is if the referees are consistent all the way across the board, then we won't have it. We went to Liverpool last season, yeah. Phil Foden gets brought down in the box. It's a penalty, 1,000,000%. Doesn't give it. Trent Alexander-Arnold handballs it in the box. Doesn't give it. Salah goes in the box, falls, like dives. It's given a penalty.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why
basically you go Anfield and you get shot and you're not getting nothing. Basically, that's how it is.
We're getting out there, man. We're getting out there. But
do you know what though? Yeah, Cass. See, when it comes to VAR in the game, yeah, are you a fan of VAR or do you want it stripped out of the game? Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty much liking VAR right about now because it's been going against us for years.
The thing, that's what I was saying. Literally, never a foul. Earlier on, I'm like, I'm not being funny. Like Arsenal getting decisions, but you can't blame them because last year they got absolutely shit upon. Like honestly, and where Liverpool fans feel so entitled all the time that everything should go their way. Things don't always go to. There's a reason why English referees are not really going to the World Cup, and same fools why they're not even allowed to come into the Champions League because they're shit. We actually need a whole new batch of referees, and I'll say diversify it a little bit. Somebody that's actually a bit more up to the game and maybe a little bit younger. Not someone like Michael Oliver. He needs to get gone. He thinks he's the dog's bollocks. Honestly, I can't stand that geezer. I actually like Anthony Taylor. Like, I'll be honest, I think he's actually all right. He's one of the refs that actually listen to the players, and you can actually make the game keep going. But there's no consistency. So if you're gonna in a derby, let's call this a derby game now, the top flight derby, or whatever you want to call it. Liverpool, Man City. It's going to be its motions are running out. Why isn't that the same for every single other game? Why does it have to apply just for them sort of games and not other games? Because the handball thing, Rashford didn't even touch his arm. It rolled. You can see the ball and you can see where the top's like creased, where it's hit him on his side first, and then goes and scores and he gets disallowed. It's like yesterday as well. Why is VAR? They didn't give anything for Callum Wilson, but they didn't give anything for Ronaldo, or they didn't get anything for Sancho as well. It's like, but any other game, I think there was one on Bamford where he scored, but that got disallowed. So why is there inconsistency with VAR when it's much better in Europe than it is in England? Why is it that we have to try to perfect everything on us by ourselves? It's like we're, I don't know, what's the word, stubborn.
You know what? Someone in the comments made a good point, and they said it's people running it. You get me? Because that person, whoever's there running it, they probably have their own agendas. They probably support different teams. They probably want certain people to do well, and if they can let it slide, they'll let it slide. So, but it's one of them. Somebody's going to have to organize it correctly in it and put something in place where maybe it's not just one person making the decisions of VAR. It's a count of 3 or 4 people.
In Europe, is it robots? Are they robots doing it or something like that now? Like, I don't know. Like,
who's you know what it is, bro? They're probably not as corrupt, fam, and that's just the truth, innit? Like, bro, I'm telling you now, I watched the boxing as well. Yeah, not so well. It was on Saturday, I think it was. And yo, that Maya, she should have won that fight, hands down. You get me? And bro, she got fucking robbed, got absolutely robbed. So it's not nothing new in this country. Tell you now.
I like this guy's comment. Zach, he said, make ex-players referees, then they'll get a little bit more respect in the game. But I don't think they want to do it either at the same time.
Nah, they're not going to be fit enough to run around afterwards.
Yeah. But
it's not that with the players. If they played for fucking other teams, people will say, "Oh, he's fucking ex-thingy, and that's why he did that," or "He's this." It's just a nightmare. It's one of the best referees. There used to be a player called Tony Philliskirk back in the day, and when I was playing in Manchester, we played a game, a cup final, and he refed it. and he was brilliant. So, you know, if a tackle went in and it was good, he'd go, brilliant tackle, lad, get up. Or someone would have a shot and he'd go, unlucky there, keep going. And he's like he was commentating through the game, but it felt like he was sort of like involved in the game, but he was like, you know, and then when he gave a decision, nobody disrespected him. It was like, it was mad. And I just think more players should just be along that side of the game, just because the player-referee relationship's just dead. Yeah. Years ago in the 90s and that, Roger Milford and all them, you'd pull a player, you'd see him have a conversation and they'd actually have a respect for each other. Now, some of these referees, they want to be players. They're walking down the tunnel, looking in the camera, blowing kisses and fucking about. It's all bollocks. You know what I mean?
100%, man. It's all a fuckery. But you know what? Gary Neville was chatting some shit as well, yeah, about this era of referees are miles better than the eras of the past, bro. And I was thinking, what the fuck is this guy talking about, man? Because even what you're talking about, Cass, with the Rashford goal that got disallowed, bro, no way in a million years that should have been ruled out, bro. Like, it's so close to him. And how it's happened, it was a madness, bro. And it's just them little decisions that fuck up people's weekend, I'm telling you now.
Even though we won it messed up that Everton game messed up my weekend. Now I can't go on to stream next week and be shameless about Rashford's got more goals than certain man strikers. Now you ruined my week because I can't go on and talk shit. Now I've got to keep it down to a level, Rashford's level, then the guy above it. It's just so annoying. I just can't stand it. But the thing is, controversy always picks up discussions, and that's what makes football the way it was. That was the whole thing about VAR. But if you're going to bring in technology, bring it in correctly, I want to know what the referees are saying to the people in the VAR. I want to hear it like in Australia. I want to hear what they're saying.
Somebody needs to be accountable, man.
Someone in the stadiums need to make it a lot more clear because everyone's hearts are stopping when you just celebrate and you don't know what's going on until you see something come up on the screen. You should hear the referees. You should hear what they say to the VAR. You should hear it for yourselves.
You see the scenes in the City and a full pint of beer hit me on the head, man, and tipped right over my fucking head. I was literally covered in beer. I don't drink, man. I stunk. But the scenes was crazy, man. But I just knew because the last time I seen scenes like that was Tottenham in the Champions League when we scored last minute and we thought we'd won it. And then we all had to stand there and look at the screen. And then that's how much of a sickener it is, that VAR. But you just can't trust it. I mean, I think it was the Arsenal game when they were saying that they couldn't really rule out because the Saka was the technology was broke or something, so they couldn't rewind it back or something with Saka. I mean, you can't. You don't want to be listening to that as the Premier League costs that much. We pay hard-earned money.
Bro, they had a power cut at Leeds this week. You know what I mean?
I know. Did you see Birmingham in the Championship? They had to cut the goalpost 2 inches down because they were too big. 20 minutes the game was delayed. The guy with a still saw at the side of the pitch cut 2 inches off the fucking net, put the net back in the holes, and then they had to recalibrate Hawkeye. Oh, that is what you play. Who's running this shit, man? Yeah, the Birmingham.
Is that how they do the technology for the ball over the line thing? That's how they calculate it.
Yeah, and they had to cut the net by 2 inches, and they got a grinder on it at the side of the pitch. The stadium's full. Everyone's waiting. I'm thinking, is this Sunday League? You know what I mean?
Fucking hell. But listen, lads, before we move on to United and the United result, I want to know what your predictions are for Liverpool. Do you reckon this is going to spur them on to try to compete now for the top four? Because before this game, I didn't think they were even going to look at top four. You know what I mean? Like the inconsistencies within the play, Trent and all of them not really performing, Salah not performing to the highest level. I just thought they're going to probably fall off and linger around maybe 5th and 6th. But now, do you reckon this might be a turning point for him? We'll go with you first, Cass, and then we'll go to Steve.
I hope not. I hope they keep rotting. I hope this is just another Bournemouth result and they go back to being shit. Like, honestly, I really do. But it's just the way Anfield was roaring again. I'm pretty sure they're going to be up for against West Ham. Salah looks like he's playing in a position he knows. It goes to confirm Nunes is the biggest waste of money since I don't know when, since Lukaku maybe. So
since Sancho.
Yeah, you know what? He's looking like a waste of money at the moment. So yeah. But the difference is he's a little bit younger and that, but it's not the point. It's just that they're not coming into grips with the league. That was stupid to get Nunes. I'm not joking. If I was Klopp, I'll get rid of him next season. I'll be like, you know what? Cut your losses. Someone will have him for 50 million. Just cut your losses and go. Because there's no point. Salah's playing the way he is. Jota's, I think he just got injured as well. That's even worse. Trent looks like he was eager to get on that pitch. I thought he was injured for 2 weeks. He's been injured for 4 days. Not trying to hear that. So that's how you know Martinelli actually skinned him and he didn't want it no more. Other than that, Joe Gomez, Van Dijk look like, you know, the pair that they should be. Their best partnership is probably them two before they got Konate. That was looking like the partnership before Gomez got injured. Robertson back is a big plus. Can their midfield can Thiago stay fit enough to keep going? You know, because he can't do another job like that on Kevin De Bruyne, because following someone else around. West Ham, they should beat them. I think they're going to beat them, and I think they're actually going to win the next few games, and they probably will do that. But I hope they don't. I really hope they don't.
You know what, bro? I think a lot of people are hoping that they just fully fall off. And without Sadio Mane as well, personally, I think that's a massive, massive blow that the Liverpool fans don't really like to talk about and try to brush it under the carpet. But
Glad we didn't get Nunes, man.
You can clearly see
Glad.
what he does. Steve, do you reckon it will spur Liverpool on now? What do you reckon they'll do this season now?
Yeah, to be honest, I said to Redmond, I said, you'll finish in the top 4 just before the game. He's like, no, he won't. I said, you will do. I said, because Liverpool have got that run in them where they can go 10, 11 games. It is what it is. They're not a bad side. Don't forget last season, people were telling us they were going to win the quad. It was the greatest team that planet Earth has ever fucking seen. Yeah, there were documentaries going to be on every channel. It was going to be, the second coming of the fucking, I don't know, but that's what they were telling us. And then this season, they started with the same, you've signed Haaland, he's shit. We've got Darwin Nunes because he scored in the Charity Shield, took his shirt off and ran off crying. And then the season started and Haaland just set the world on fire and their asses fell out. And at the end of the day, they've got a good result. They're back on track and they've got to, listen, they've given 10 points up already and we're not even at Christmas. So it's all their own fault. But this will spur them on. They're a good side, mate. They're not shit. They're a good side. But I think teams will get at them a bit more. But I expect them to finish in the top 4, mate.
Yeah, you know what? I think a win like this can actually help your season. Like a few years back, we beat Chelsea at the Emirates. It helps us push on a little bit that season and start gaining some momentum. But for me, I think the 14 points behind us, 10 points behind you. Obviously, like you said, they have got that run in them. But whether they're going to have that consistency to have them consistent performances, or when man like Trent and players come back into the team fully, are they going to fall off a little bit, make mistakes, is another question. Top 4, it puts them back into the question now, innit? Because if anybody beats Man City, it just shows you the quality that they have got in their team. Because for me, Man City are the best team in the world right about now. I'm not just saying it because Big Steve's there. I've been thinking it for a while. The depth in the squad that they've got, unbelievable. Now they've just signed the best striker in the world, in my opinion. You get me? So if they can go and do that and beat City, even though it's at Anfield, I'm gonna give them some props and say, you know what? I think they might just sneak back into that top 4 now. Get me to change my opinion on it.
Well, it's gonna be hard though.
It's gonna be hard. It will be. It will be. But you know what? Like Steve said, he touched on, Liverpool can go on them runs, innit? And sometimes
away from home. But the thing is that's Anfield. Now, let's try to see if they can do that away from home all the time. Are you going to always play Milner? You always have to play that deep line? Like, do they have it? They really need January to come quicker for us.
Yeah, 100%. They do need it. They need to get new signings. And so do you, man, as well, after seeing your midfield performance, to be honest with you. Obviously, I didn't see it in full. I've managed to catch quite a bit of extended highlights on it and bits of it here and there. But man drew against Newcastle. Personally, I don't think it's a bad result for you. Like you said, you're going through a process. There's going to be results where you're not going to be flying high. And Newcastle ain't no shit team. So what's your thoughts on it, Cass?
I'll be honest, no, but it is annoying. I'm not annoyed now because I want to be positive in it. Like, it's the only way to really be. If you be negative, it just ruins your week and just ruin your day. Then I'm going to talk to you guys because of emotions. Like, what's the point, innit? Do you get what I mean? So we move on. There's another game in a couple of days against Tottenham, who we're going to beat, by the way, who I was more confident about beating than I was about beating Newcastle. So Newcastle, on the other hand, we should have won that game. Like, this is actually the first game. I hate Bruno Fernandes, by the way. I am not a fan. I hate the way he plays football. So I'm fake Kevin De Bruyne. But he played well. He actually played well. He played we played a 4-3-3, not a double pivot. That game shows we're missing a striker and you're missing a little bit more quality from the midfield. But the midfield actually done well. We actually dominated them the whole of the second half. They didn't have a sniff. I'm not joking. The football was confident and actually good. Like, I can actually sit in, but the first half was the same thing. You never know what's going to happen. They get a set piece and they look threatening all of a sudden. Bruno Guimaraes didn't really have the greatest of games. He just got sniffed out a little bit, and that's exactly what you had to do against a player like that. He's just something that we need.
What do you think about the Wilson penalty shot? Because
no, it should have been a penalty.
Madness.
It was a stone cold penalty. He took out his legs. Do you get what I mean? Same way Ronaldo's legs got taken out by Trippier, and the same way Sancho got swiped and stood on his foot, the tip of his foot, and then but he done a theatrical dive, but he still got taken out. Do you get what I mean? Nothing was called. And you're like, how? Then we actually ruined it ourselves by missing 2 open goals as well. Joe Linton, don't get me wrong, other than the Joe Linton header thing that happened and the penalty shout, they didn't really have much going in goal. They missed St. Maximin. But
So
at
do
the same time,
do you not think they had the best of the first half and then United had the best of the second? Because from what I seen, I thought obviously United looked a lot better in the second half.
First off, I wouldn't say they dominated for the whole of the second half, but they did have us a little bit on ropes when it came down to the left-hand side a little bit more than the right. So our right-hand side, our left-hand side, Luke Shaw was quite comfortable against Almiron. The left-hand side, they just kept putting overloads in there. And but we had our moments in that first half. Sancho, an overhit pass from someone to Sancho to Ronaldo, easily left foot, should have been a goal. There was a lot of moments. Anthony should have cut it back. Like to Bruno decides, this is why I hate when we play Ronaldo, because everyone's too busy trying to play daddy. Like, who can impress dad the most? Like, what are you doing? Like, stop trying to feed him and get him on his good books and play for the team. Like, what are you doing? There's enough times there. And it happened. I just can't, like, right, look, Ronaldo's a legend of the club, but he needs to really move on. And we can't keep thinking he's going to do what he's been doing, because we're doing what he got his 18 goals last season. Everything went through Ronaldo. But now everything's going through a little bit of everyone at the moment. But we're giving him the chances, and he just can't get his feet together. I think he had 7. If I'm correct, he made 7 successful passes that game.
What do you reckon about Ten Hag taking him off though with 20 minutes to go? Would you not have just kept him on, took a midfielder off, and put another forward on?
No. Rashford was the right choice. Rashford, because he was ill, that's the reason why Ronaldo started. He wasn't feeling that great, so he came off the bench.
What's happened to Alanga, fam? Why is he not getting a sniff?
Well, hopefully he got left back in the academy, because I don't care about that guy.
Nah, but I'm telling you, bro, I've been quite impressed with Alanga from a neutral side. When I watch Alanga play, you know, right?
Take it.
He's second in fifth.
I said, all right. I said, why not convert Alanga into someone like a right back? Convert him to a right back. We need
should not go in the same sentence.
Alanga should be a backup right back for Dalot, because we ain't got no right back options, and Wan-Bissaka there or Lindelof is not the option for me either. But Alanga, man. But Rashford, as soon as he comes on, we look a lot more fluid. I wonder why. Like, we actually look like we're more expressive in our attack. It looks like we can actually play down the middle rather than. But at the same time,
that header though, fam. Fucking hell, was his eyes? What was he doing on that header, fam? Because I think I would have scored that as well. I'm telling you now.
I don't know. He scored a pretty. Rashford's pretty decent header in there. I think he scored against you a couple of times with a header, didn't he?
Listen, mate, we're top of the fucking tree, mate. Have some manners and respect, you know what I'm trying to say around there. Nah, you get me. But Steve, look, let's move on to Ten Hag for a little bit now. He's been at United for a little while now. Are you impressed with the style of play that he's brought to United right now?
I don't actually mind him as a manager. I think he is a good manager, and I think he has got a good way about him of how he wants to play football. But the club's a shit show. Everything about him is a shit show. He's gone into a shit show. It's not a quick fix. You can throw a lot more money at it all you want. That argument about, anyone can do it with money, it clearly proves at Man United you can't. So I think he's got to have time. Same what I said with Arteta. The only difference with Arteta is you guys employed a rookie manager. So you employ any rookie in any job in the world, they need time. Ten Hag was doing it in Holland. He's gone down that route for the players that he wants to sign. There's little sparks that I see in Man United where he's trying and he's getting bits and bobs right. But there's a few bad apples there for me. There's a few players that shouldn't be anywhere near the team. There's a few players that aren't good enough for the team. And I think you've just got to raise your bar and raise the level. And I think he'll do that, but it's going to be a long process for him. If they keep with him for another couple of seasons, there's a good chance he'll probably get it right and be up there in the mix. But if they make knee-jerk reactions and the fans lose patience and start on him again, you're in that cycle. And that's what I said to you, Premsy, about Arsenal. You were in that cycle of change all the time. You could have very, very easily sacked Arteta last season. Very, very easily could have done it. And you'd have started this season then with new manager, new coach, new fitness coach, goalkeeping coach, nutritionist, scouts, players that are unhappy because the new guy didn't rate them, old signings. We wanted more money for new signings. You could have gone back to square one, but you just proved that little bit that he needed, that he got, his 3 main men extra this season that he got, has took you to the next level. And I think with Ten Hag, he's got to get rid of a few more, give him a bit more time, another couple of windows, get his own men in, and then I think you'll see his football start to flourish then.
You can see right now, though, United are looking a better footballing team in it. Like from the first couple of games when you've lost, like you can see something just wasn't clicking. Right now, when I watch United, they are looking better. You get me? And whether that's the big decisions he's made with dropping Harry Maguire, obviously we will touch on that, Cass, as well, because you'll know better than us. Because there's a bold move to do, though. He was the United captain.
It's not for me. It's not a bold move. It's the correct move that's been needed to be done for years. Ollie set us back years. Signing Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, nearly signing Longstaff as well, by the way, would have set us back even longer. You know what I mean?
Don't forget, Ramsey, right? We were told that these players were the fucking dog's bollocks. We're Man United, we're back. We've signed Sancho, Viva Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes. We've got Fred. You wanted Fred. We've got Maguire. You wanted me. It's all bollocks in their head. They live in this old Man United bubble, yeah, where in there they think they're fucking great. But everyone on the outside, if you say anything against them, you're bitter and you're jealous. But it's plain to see. And it takes someone like Ten Hag to go to the board and go, which one of you fucking idiots have signed this lot here because they're shit? And that's what that needed. And he's probably done that. You look at Martial, right? How long ago did you sign Martial? Yeah. He's not 22 years old anymore. He's not the second coming of Cantona. He's fucking parcel, mate. He can come on in the derby when you're 6 down and score a couple of fucking a penalty and a tapping. Don't make him. You're not going to win the league with him. You ain't going to win nothing with him. Marcus Rashford.
He's their best striker.
Marcus Rashford. Striker. Let me tell you about Marcus Rashford, yeah? He's fucking shite. He's absolutely shite. You ain't winning nothing with him either. Then you've got Fred,
McTominay, at least.
Yeah, Wan-Bissaka. Oh, he's the best fullback. He's mint. No one can get past him. No one can get past him. No, because he is pretty good at that. But when you ask him to run up the pitch and deliver something, he's fucked. He's fucked. The team's shit. They've got 1 or 2 decent players. Yeah, shit. You know. It is what it is, and at the end of the day, everyone's improved.
They do need that rebuild in it, Steve. They do need that rebuild because, like I was saying at the start of the season, to all my boys and that United fans, bro, they need to take about 10 of them players. Bro, they still got Phil Jones on the wage books, bro.
They need football men in between the manager and the board. Someone who in between the manager and the board. City's got Ferran Soriano and Tixi Bergstein that built Barcelona. Yeah, they're our men. They've got the decision. So when the Sheikh rings them up, they tell him, nah, this is the players we want. They put it to Pep, they agree on it, and they go out, they make the move, and they get the players. United haven't got that. They've got businessmen there.
I don't get it.
We want Ronaldo. We want Ronaldo to sell shirts and that. You know what I mean? But it's all mad there. I love it, mate. I'm a City fan. I love it. I think it's fucking great. But being honest, it's embarrassing for them. And people need to call them players out. They're not good enough.
Yeah, they're not good enough. And I don't know why we're not employing a director of football. This is why I hate my owners, because there's somebody feeding them as well, whoever is feeding them, Richard Arnold and John Murto, trying to tell them we don't need no director of football or something like that. They're the only big club in the world that don't have a director of football, by the way. Like, it's like they're scared. It's like, why are you scared to be successful in this flipping club? It's actually annoying. Same thing as well. I see this guy talking earlier. If Ronaldo was on, he would have scored that goal. Ronaldo would not even be in that position. He might have been too leggy to even be in there, even though it not even been delivered. But if you're going to play Ronaldo, don't play inverted wingers. Play wingers that are on their favoured feet, because then they might see the cross a little bit better and they can actually play crosses on their favoured foot on the right. Sancho on the right, he's done it before. Anthony on the left, he's done it before. Play it like that. You don't need to play inverted just because you want fullbacks overlapping or inside. Stretch the pitch a bit. That's where you're going to get the best out of Ronaldo. For me, if he just uses his head, he's the best, probably the best in the air in the whole league.
The Sancho thing there as well, it does need calling out, to be honest, because
I was going to say the same, man.
He's not in the England squad. He looked a shadow of his former self. Jack Grealish gets slated for being £100 million flop. You know,
I prefer Sancho I prefer Sancho when he's on the right-hand side, I'll be honest. Like, you know what he's going to do, cutting on his right and everything. He can play with his left, don't get me wrong. But when he was on the right with the low, he looked like his best. I'll be honest. It's hard to get close to him because he can go back and he can go forward a little bit more. So he's got a bit of a different option. But
I don't know. All I'm telling you is dead food, mate. Dead fucking food.
Right now, he's been dropped and everything like that. He looks like Rashford, Martial, who's back for Spurs, and what's it called? Anthony looks like the players that are going to be the front three. When it looks like the best front three against Everton, we went 1-0 down and everything. After that, it was a bit of a wrap. They had to drop even more yards deep. The whole line, actually, the whole midfield had to, just to help out the defense a little bit. But at the same time, I know in January we're going to spend. It looks like we're going to spend something, and we're going to get a couple positions that we need for now. Next position we definitely need to get upgrade on is goalkeeper. Oh my word! You see what Alisson done yesterday for Salah. We never scoring a goal like that because our goalkeeper can only distribute to a left back or right back. As far as that, that's what I'm saying. We will never get goals like that. Ederson does this week in, week out. He'll ping it right down to Foden. He will just take the ball down like it's dead, like a dead ball. We're never gonna do that. And
I've been saying that for you, man, for years, man. You need a new keeper, a modern day keeper. Difference.
What about you? What about you guys when you got Ramsdale? Look, I like Ramsdale. I don't know why people hate on this guy. I think he's mint. I like the way he pisses the other fans off. He pisses the crowd off. Like Leeds yesterday, he was pissing them off. But he'll ping it.
Oh, we did it last year. Yeah, we was at Leeds last year. Yeah, I'm telling you, obviously, we was there.
But the only thing with Ramsdale, he's got a massive mistake in him as well. That's the only issue with Ramsdale. He's got
I don't know, bro. People say this, yeah, because they just judge him off his time when he was getting relegated and all that. But now,
no. I mean, when he distributes it, sometimes it's like
but nobody's gonna hit 100% pass rate in it. That's not the case. But at least he's got the fucking cojones to do it. You get me? Unlike man like De Gea.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying. And calm under the ball.
You know what the worst part is? De Gea came out. He keeps saying, I want to stay for many more. Not on 350k a week, my guy. Get out.
Just the goalkeeping position has changed so much now. It's like Manuel Neuer started it, and then people like Ederson and Alisson, and even Ramsdale to an extent. I said to you last season, Premsy, that Ramsdale's that he changed him because you need to build from the back. Look, no matter what any Arsenal fan says, Arteta's building his side to look like a Pep Guardiola side because he's been in the shadow of Pep. So that's all he knows, and he knows it works and it wins. So he'll tweak his little formula to it. Starts with a goalkeeper. You look at it now, goalkeepers now, even Sunday League goalkeepers, they're all playing out from the back. If you did that years ago, everyone used to scream, "What you doing, you dickhead? Fucking get it up the pitch. Stop fucking about with it." Now, you know, if you kick the ball long, which they used to tell you years ago to do, you're an idiot and you're not a good goalkeeper. But these mad keepers knocking it about. David De Gea is a great shot stopper, great goalkeeper, old-fashioned type goalkeeper. You know, he's better at a lot of things than Ederson. But Ederson's the modern day goalkeeper. He's brave. He can play it from the back. He can dink the press. Teams are pressing you, can dink it over the press, and you can attack. And that's what teams are looking for now. Same as fullbacks. The fullback positions changed massive. Years ago, fullback had to defend. Couldn't go past the halfway line. You fucking defend, get to the halfway line, give it the winger. He goes across. Fullbacks now are up at the fucking going around the strikers, whipping it in, can't get back. It's mad. Football's just changing, mate. And do
you know what? Technically, in this day and age, though, the technical player probably all round of all teams is a lot better, in it. Like there's a lot more tactics to the game. Back in the day, it was a straight up 4-4-2. You get me? And then take it from there. Now you've got all different kind of positions, obviously different angles. Just like you touched on Arteta, he does look at Pep's model because the way our fullbacks are starting to invert. That's a Pep Guardiola tactic, you get me, and he deploys it, and it's coming to some benefit for us. But now we're on Arsenal, let me just touch on it first of all, yeah. So everybody, Big Steve told me to trust in this guy, yeah, and until this fucker wins me the Premier League, yeah, I'm not gonna. I'm joking, but you know what, Steve, you were right.
We went to London, man. You were right. New Year's Eve, it was New Year's Eve night, wasn't it? When we went, because we played New Year's Day, so 4 o'clock in the morning, picked him up. I'm not going to tell you what state he was in, but he's in the back of my car. And I was telling him all the way to London. We went through about 4 speed cameras. I was telling him how Arteta, if he keeps with the patience, you'll get there. And what's happened with Arteta there at Arsenal, when he came in there, like you say, as a rookie, he had similar problems like Man United.
Oh, he had them kind of problems like what Steve's having right now.
If you walk in as a rookie, is right, yeah. So if you walk in them dressing rooms, yeah, I'm back. Can you see me? If you walk in them dressing rooms with that attitude and try and change it, like I say, it wouldn't happen. He wouldn't wear it, and people would go to the chairman and he'd be gone. But what he did is he just let people like Oba and that do their own thing. They took the piss. He managed to get him out of the club. He got him out of the club. Everyone went mad. But it was a brave decision what he did. And what he's done now is he's flipped the mentality at Arsenal. He's signed winners. Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko. They all believe in Arteta. So when they're in the dressing room talking to the other players, they'll be like, nah, when he was at City, he did this. When he was at City, he done that. And people are starting to believe in it. And the mentality's changing there. You can see with Zinchenko and Jesus what they've brought to the team. You can see what the rest of the younger players are starting to believe. And Arsenal are playing really, really well. And a lot of teams saying, oh, Arsenal will fade, Arsenal will fade. But I remember me saying exactly the same about Leicester. I fucking said, Leicester will fade, Leicester will fade. And before I knew it, Mahrez was fucking turning people into pretzels at the Etihad and firing it in the top corner. And Leicester won the fucking league. So be careful what you say. You know, I think in January, if they back him in January with a couple of good squad additions to get him over the line, because the business end of the season is fucking crazy, mate. People that are in the top 4 don't want to get in the top 4, start losing mad games, and people start doing it. The relegation teams start beating the top teams. That's where the league's won and lost for me, that final 12, 13 games. And if he can get a good squad, a couple of backup players behind him, keep the momentum, mate, you got to believe in 100.
You know what, Steve? 100%. Yeah, we definitely need to get some signings in January. But it is going to also, we need a midfielder, for me, another striker, 100%, bro. Because on the wings we can cover. If Gabriel Jesus gets injured, we're fucked.
I doubt you get another striker though. Not with Nketiah with the new deal and everything.
But we need a different option though, innit? We've always had room for 3 strikers. We let Lacazette go, we let Aubameyang go, innit? So we can have another striker in there that will give us that different option. So for me, we have to get that. You get me, bro? This is just my opinion. Now,
what kind of striker then? What one would
Ivan Toney, exactly like him.
Yeah,
there we go. I've been crying out for him since the start of the season.
I want him as well. I want him as well. But then my team somehow wants Cody Gakpo. Like, I'm like, why? Like, I don't care. He's got double figures in goals and assists right now. They're going to convert him into a striker or something, or a left wing, because he can do both, or play him in both. But I don't want him. I want someone like Tony. I want a different option. Give me another Tony. I got Tony Martial. I got another Tony in the wing. Give me another Tony. 3 Tonys. You got 3 Gabriel. It's not fair, is it?
Got a fucking team full of Tonys, you mate.
Yeah, and you got a Tony Elanga as well. Like, just fuck it.
but with Arsenal, it's going to be one of them seasons as well, because people are forgetting the World Cup's here, innit? And now with us, we've got Odegaard not going. A lot of our players are probably not going to go. The players that are going to go are probably not going to be first team starters throughout the whole campaign. And also, for example, like Xhaka and players like that, can you see Switzerland really getting too far? Not really. So
yeah, I can. Don't underestimate Switzerland. You know, watch this.
I hope he doesn't. You get me? I hope he doesn't, because he's been one of our best players, and he's liable to get injured out there because he throws his body on the line. You know what I'm saying? And in them kind of competitions, it's not a joke. But Steve's right. We could get a few players in. We could carry on pushing with the momentum. Obviously, just focus on ourselves and not anyone else, and push City right to the top. Who knows what can happen? Like you said, Leicester, nobody give them a hope in hell. Every single person, every single pundit was saying, oh, it's next week. But these motherfuckers just kept pushing and pushing and pushing. And sometimes team spirit and morale can help people get over the line. And I've not seen Arsenal like this in years and years and years, bro. Believe me, bro, the atmosphere outside the ground, in the ground, pre-match build-up, it's a madness, bro.
That's what happens,
it's a madness,
mate.
bro. Even the players are feeling it, man.
You've got to galvanise the team on and off the pitch, though. AFTV, all the fan channels, you've all got to be pushing in the right direction, no divide. You've got the new ultra section in there, the Ashburton, whatever they call it.
Ashburton Army, yeah, smacking it up, man.
They're doing things. The club's getting behind them. And then once you get the club starts all pulling together, it's a nice vibe. You look at Arsenal for years; they've been disjointed on and off the pitch, fractions. It was a comedy club for everyone. Oh, Arsenal got beat. Let's go and watch AFTV. People made a lot of money out of it, and it's not necessarily great for your club. But when you're winning, everybody wants to get on a fan cam. Everyone wants to have their say. Everyone wants to be a part of it. We've seen it, and you've got to keep the momentum going. If they keep the momentum going, there's no reason why they can't win it at the end of the day. Because I seen a stat this morning, or someone said it's the best start Arsenal's ever had. No team in this position has ever lost a league title from this sort of like position when they've gone through it. So either way, they've got a great chance. They've just got to keep on going, man. Keep on going.
Do you know what it is, though? Why we stay real? Well, I'm a realistic Arsenal fan, Steve. You know me, innit? Now, obviously, I look at you guys and think that's the position that I want to be in as a club, ran from top to bottom, because the way yous have ran is unbelievable. I understand that the money might not be there, just like yous, but it's a model to kind of follow. And I believe Arteta is starting to try to put that model into place at Arsenal because he's been in and around the club and he knows what it takes to start winning them titles. But whether he could have done it or not, that's another situation with Pep still in the league. You've gone and signed the best striker in the league, in the world for me, bro. And the guy's he went on 10 consecutive games he scored it. I think it was only against Liverpool he didn't score. And that is a madness, bro. So you've got to be realistic. This Man City team have been unbelievable for years now, bro. Now, they've got the consistency, they've got the know-how, they've got the mentality of getting over the line. I think for Arsenal this season, if we can push you to the top and say we don't win the league, but we're off like 6 points, 7 points, that's massive progression because that gives us as fans belief to think, you know what, we'll go in next season and we can win the league now because the bridge is gapped, the gap is bridged, you know what I'm saying? But
there are only a couple more signings off a really exceptional team. And do you know what? An Arsenal fan said to me on one of my things, Steve, if you're Arteta, who would you sign next season? And I said, I would sign Riyad Mahrez, and Ilkay Gundogan on a free. And that win you the league.
I'll take Gundogan. I'll take him absolutely all day.
I don't think that's the direction Arsenal are heading though. In terms of what you recruit.
But what I'm saying is experience in Gundogan, who's seen it all and done it all. And Riyad Mahrez has lost his mojo, needs it back.
I think only,
so they're two players I've got a point to prove.
The only issue you have there, though, Steve, is that I had this conversation the other day with Daps as well. It's like, I don't think he's going to accept being second fiddle to Saka. And I don't think Saka will be happy being second fiddle to Mahrez at the same time. And I get it. The squad, you got to have options everywhere you go. You got to fight for your position regardless. But I think he boots off from the Premier League after this. I think he actually leads the whole sector. I can't see it. I really can't see it. But I get what you mean in winners. I don't think Gundogan. I think if you're going to take one, it's got to be one or the other.
I'll take Gundogan. I'm telling you, man. I love him. I think he's a quality player, man. And he's been a quality player for years. Even when he was at Dortmund, quality, man. I'll take him. I'll take him right now if you give him us. You know what I mean? What is this? Is he over at the end of the window?
He can go for free. I think City's going to give him a free transfer, to be honest. I think he just wants to... he likes to experience new things, I think. I can see him going abroad, but I don't know. I just thought if anyone could persuade him, Arteta might get in his ear, and nobody expected Jesus and Zinchenko to both go there, but you understand it with a connection. I think, look, if people are available at Man City, you've been the best team in the country for 5 or 6 years, go and do it, man. If I'm in manager and I know them players, I'm on the blower trying to get them in.
No, it won't surprise me because obviously I think Arteta's still really early in his reign. His homework's not going to be massive, innit? What do you mean we need a new centre back?
No, I mean next season. I'm not joking. Like not Saliba, but I think you know what?
Man are trying to put too much peas on Gabriel. Yeah, Gabriel's a good centre back. Mate. That's why we're sitting at the top of the league right about now because it's a team game.
You're good. Look, the man's got a mistake in a minute, and you can't deal with mistakes.
Everyone's got mistakes in him.
I'm not getting at Gabriel because I don't mind him. Like I actually felt sorry for him that he got sent off yesterday and then he got rescinded, obviously. And I'm thinking about this guy does it way too many times. I think Saliba's got something good going forward, even though he gave away the penalty. Like he's young and he's going to get better and better and better. I think you just need someone a little bit better than Gabriel and maybe have them free. Look, City have got 4 quality centre backs. Why can't Arsenal have 4 quality? You got Ben White, who I think is good in and around the club. I think he knows his role now. You're not going to be the starting centre back, but you're going to be in and around. You're going to be an inverted fullback. You're going to use you there. Then you got no choice. You're going to be the third centre back. Who's your fourth centre back? Why can't you have another great centre back? This is what I'm saying. I like Holding. But sometimes I think you know what? He looks like that player that should get moved on next season. You should just go get another quality left-footed centre-back for that role. And there's quite a few out there. There is quite a few. And if you get top 4,
he's going to come in and just... you know what it is with Gabriel?
I can give you a few names.
Man. No, but listen.
Yeah, I get that. But you can get somebody that's just better.
People are just jumping on this Gabriel hype too much, yeah? Because last season, bro, he was quality. The thing is with Gabriel, he might seem a bit rash because he's an aggressive player. You get me? And how many years have people said Arsenal need aggressive players? They're too soft. They're this. You can bully him up. I understand he's going to give a mistake away here and there because most players do. But last season, Gabriel for us was unbelievable. The reason why it looks like he makes a lot more mistakes is because
let me change your mind. Let me change your mind. There's one name. Actually, you know what's funny? I'm literally looking in the comments as well that could be available at the end of the season.
Austin Trust.
No. Because City need to hang on to Laporte. if they're going to continue either with Stones and Diaz, Laporte, I'll guarantee if you want to pick someone off, an actual good player at the bunch that's got Premier League experience, mint, yeah, he gets injured time to time, but he's mint. I'm not joking. Laporte.
No, I don't disagree what you say, that we can upgrade on holding.
Still on the contract.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't mean Arsenal can't persuade. But Pep Guardiola is not to have someone to stay in somebody's way. If you want to leave, you can leave. With the connections, as you do say, if you have the connections and Laporte wants to, let me go for somewhere new, somewhere in London, not in Manchester. Let me try something out. I think I need somewhere fresh to some. There's no reason if Arsenal get top 4, do look convincing. You've got Jesus, he's got a couple of his teammates that were there as well. There's no reason why you can't get someone like that. That might even raise Gabriel's game as well at the same time. Someone pushing, he knows as long as the only left-footed centre-back, he's going to be the one that's going to go. Do you get what I mean? Now, every team needs options everywhere, innit? That's why I was saying, like, Man United can have Rashford, Anthony, and whoever, and another winger to push each other to go do what you need to do.
Do you know what it is right now? I don't think it's a necessity because we got Ben White.
No, not now. That's why I said summer. Summer.
We got Tommy Yasu who could fill in that position as well, innit? So right about now, we signed him from America last season, sent him out on loan, and that dead dude, and that I've not seen him get me. But what I have seen of him, he didn't look anything great in it. So I'm not trying to claim him, innit? I'm not trying to claim him. But look, Steve, do you reckon we've got the minerals to keep up with you all season, man? Because everyone's seeming to write us off. All the pundits, just like Leicester, are saying, look, after the World Cup, Arsenal are gonna fall off and this, that, and the other. But I was watching Never a Foul as well before this, people. If you haven't seen it, go check out the stream. It was a good stream. And in there, I can't remember which one he's mentioned, but we've got a decent run up until January, haven't we?
That would be Roms.
Right, okay.
No, in the comments, and that would be Roms. If you actually look at your fixtures up until January, see, the thing is, you got good. I think you got Southampton away, but you've also got Nottingham Forest. You've got Abs at the end, you've got to absolutely kill them. I think you got Everton maybe or something like that as well. I'm not too sure. Chelsea's your main game basically. Out of all of them, it's just Chelsea and there's West Ham. I think up until then, I think it is. I could be wrong though.
We'll do Chelsea as well, man.
But the only thing is, that's always mentions this. You've got to face City twice at the business end of the season, twice, and that's not a Manchester City. You got to also play in April. You got to play relegation fodder, as in the ones that look like they're going to go there now. They're the games you don't want to face at the end in Aprils and stuff like that. Not only just that, you got a lot of away. You got a lot of away games. You got to go to Liverpool at Anfield. By the way, you've got to go to obviously City. You got to go to a couple teams basically, and it's not going to be easy. I get that. But the thing is,
different Arsenal though, man.
You got 20. That's what I said. I said I'm not being funny, but they got 27 points. I think this year, look, they're already halfway. You could say by the time it gets to the World Cup, for me, Arsenal are going to collect enough points, maybe around 40 points. That's half. They're already halfway. Before this halfway game's done at 18 games, they're going to already be done, like halfway there to get into where they need to be. You're at the end of the day, your objective is top 4. Now it's not looking like top 4. It's looking like top 2, top 3. I don't think you're going to win the league, but this is a different Arsenal at the end of the day. Even when a substitute comes on, he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
Do you know what I always say as well? I always say this in the last few years in the run-ins, there's going to be slip-ups and City going games and say like we went to West Ham last year and we were down at half-time. My mentality is do not lose. So if you get a point can win you the league. We've done it a few years ago. We was at home in the Etihad against Sunderland. We were down 2-0, I think, and we were in a title run-in against United. And I just said, okay, we're playing shit. We need to get something. And I think Sammy and Nasri scored late on and we got a point, yeah? And that point kept us in the league. So there'll be games where Arsenal are not at the races. It might be a bad night at the office, but do not lose. Just keep picking up points. Always get a point. If you get that mentality in your head.
Yeah. Do you know what? I think that Leeds game though that we just played, Steve, I think that's a big part of it as well, because I'm not going to lie, Leeds look like the much better side, and it was lucky to come away with that victory. But this is what the mentality is doing. This is what the new mentality is doing. Is getting you over that line.
I'm going to say one thing though. You might laugh. I've been consistent with it. Watch out for Chelsea. Watch out, because if they win their game in hand, and everything, and then they beat you. I think they only go a couple points off of you, by the way, and that's no joke.
I don't think they'll beat us.
But luckily they got us to play on Saturday, so it's all right. We might take something.
You man are gonna get smacked up. You
know why I think I'm a bit more confident is the only reason being is because Reece James is out, and a lot of their attack. That means one side of their attack is. Look, watch against Aston Villa. One side of their attack is so dead that they have to play Azpilicueta, and they got whoever on the right that I don't give a shit about. You don't have to.
Yeah, hammered off Villa.
Yeah,
that kept us saved.
That Leon Bailey was having so much joy down that side. It's ridiculous how they didn't get some Matty Cash. This is what I mean. But I'm gonna say it. Look, watch out for Chelsea. They're gonna. I think if you're gonna call that dark horse in this all, watch them come up and rise, man. Because this is what
They've got a good squad. They've got a good squad, and it's an experienced squad.
Graham Potter looks like he's just gelling with the team, not just like as a manager, like but as just like. Like colleagues and friends and everything. Like he looks like he's got that sort of bit about him.
I think he's finally got his chance.
I've got so much time for him.
Yeah, he's finally got his chance, and he's got a new owner in there who's patient. Now he's a bit mad, that Yank, so he's thinking, you know what, I can get my money and get my players in. And I think some of the players who were going a little bit stale are just buying into him. I always rated him for what he did at Brighton. He didn't have the massive budget, but he got a tune out of him. They could go anywhere, Brighton, and turn anyone over, which is respect to him. So I get what you're saying. Tottenham as well. Tottenham are playing absolute dog shit football, but getting results. People have won leagues doing that. They have. It's the way it is. So it's going to be coming after this World Cup. It's going to be interesting. Haaland's got a 5-week break. So that's always good.
Odegaard. They're going to be buddying up in IB for 2 weeks.
I want to mention something as well. Yeah, like some players that are also going to the World Cup. Not all of them are going to play. Like Grealish is going to go to the World Cup probably, and he's not going to play. Do you know what I mean? He's not really going to have much game time.
You know what? I think he will. Because he's been quite good for City this season, man. And I think it's a bit dumb not playing Grealish.
This is why stats don't prove anything. I don't care if a player hasn't got a goal involvement in 300 minutes. He's doing other stuff.
I was surprised Grealish didn't play against Liverpool, man. Steve,
there's another option, but
another option. Fucking hell, man. He should have been starting hands down. He fucking
he is £100 million.
You want me? Well, he showed it against you, didn't he? Fucking hell.
Yeah, fucking too right. No, I thought he should have came on. See Milner, when you have to double up against Milner, there's something going wrong in the game. I thought he would have been the good option to take. I think Alvarez should have came on a bit earlier for Gundogan as well. I think Gundogan was probably one of the best players.
He does this weird thing where he don't want to change the rhythm. That's what he says, Pep. I don't want to change the rhythm. If the team's in good rhythm and we're still in with a chance, he doesn't like to change it. And I think that's what he did. Grealish would wind.
We should have Grealish.
Would be winding everybody up, mate, if he came on. But he's played well this season, Jack. He's driving from midfield. He's doing all right. It is what it is.
He's looking back to normal, ain't he?
We should have had Grealish. You lot should have had Sancho back. We should have Grealish. It would have both them players. Grealish suits Man United for what we need a lot more now, and Sancho suits a lot more what Pep tries to do with the passing and everything. It would have been mint a little bit more different.
Sancho's dead, man.
He'd be
in the reserves for City, fam.
No. Put Sancho in that Pep Guardiola system. The way he wants to play now, Sancho's perfect. And guess what? He's played with Haaland before as well, which makes it even more deadly.
Was it Pep who got rid of him?
No, he wanted to leave, innit? He didn't want to stay because he wanted first team.
Told him, mate, you're in the reserves.
He wanted to leave because Pep wouldn't take him. Pep wouldn't take him on the USA tour, so he spat his dummy out and fucked off back to London and didn't come to training. So he thought he was bigger than what he was at the time. He thought he was the man. He went to Dortmund. He looked great. Everyone was slagging Foden off. Look, you're sat on the bench at Man City. And Sancho's playing week in, week out for Dortmund. He's in the England team. You should leave Man City. All that nonsense. And then look at him now, innit? He's got a lot of money, the kid. Fair play to him, but stinks the gaff out every time he plays.
I still think he will come alive. He actually played well against Newcastle yesterday. Like, actually didn't always cut back and stuff.
75 million and everything. Potential. He's not done nothing there.
Yeah, but it's like Grealish. We can talk about Grealish. He ain't done nothing either. And this ain't just a backfire, but you don't need to get a goal and assist every time to prove that you played a good game. You know what I mean? It's just it's about positioning and everything going consistently. The same way Grealish is finding his feet. Someone that costs 25 million less is trying to do the same.
When you pay 75 million for a player at Manchester United and you're not finishing anywhere near the top, you do have to do goals and assists. When you're paying 100 million at Man City players around you do the job. Sancho ain't doing his job. That's all I'm saying. If he's at Man City, Sancho can stick the calf out. No one cares.
Another one. Listen, another one. Yeah, Pepe. Look, Pepe, man. Pepe done a lot more than Sancho in his first season, and everybody was killing him.
Yeah, the difference is Pepe is about 27 years old, and Sancho is about 21.
No.
That's the difference.
No, he's only 27 years old now. We got him at like 24.
And Sancho's what, 21,
you know what
20 years old. He's like 20 years old.
But
then.
what I'm trying to say is,
you're comparing to a teenager, a teenager, bro. We want to talk about teenage.
Oh, you're comparing him to Grealish, you bad man. What are you talking about? How old's Grealish?
Why don't you do the same comparison to Pepe when Grealish first came to Manchester City? Then why is there no respect there? It's the same thing. I get what you say, but you want to talk about this cycle about Man United, Steve. But then we're going back into the same cycle. If you come to Man United, you got to be doing this and that. No, bro, because it's the same thing that's happening with managers. You're going to bring in him, and then you're going to have this. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. It's fine for now. For a kid his age, it's okay for now. He's got this season to prove that he's going to fit in, or I'm going to say he can bounce.
Season?
No, because I don't care, because I've never gotten to Grealish about him having a shit season last season. I just think it's just him trying to find his feet.
Grealish won the league.
Give a player 18. He didn't win you the league. The best, you know what the best Grealish achievement of last year? When he slagged off Almiron on the bus, and I thought that was hilarious and I loved it. That's his biggest achievement last year. It don't matter.
Jack Grealish
Anderson won the league. Hey, look, Anderson won the league with us. Did he do much in the season? Anderson. Okay, let's go back. Phil Jones won the league.
Anderson
with us. Did he do much that season?
Anderson.
We're talking about some fucking dusty ballers here. Phil Jones.
Wait. But it's the same. It's the same thing. We made Cleberson and Jemba Premier League winners. So what now? Jemba fucking Michael Owen. Michael Owen.
You know what? No, Premz, this is the problem with Manchester United supporters, yeah?
Nah.
United bubble, yeah? You've just heard him. You've just heard what he said then, yeah? He's in that Man United
It's
bubble,
the same thing.
Yeah? So you keep thinking Sancho needs time, and that is exactly where your football club is going wrong. Because people like you and the board,
you're being a hypocrite then. You're being a hypocrite.
I'm not being a hypocrite.
You are being a hypocrite. You are though.
No, if you think
you just said the Man United needs time and the manager needs time.
You don't have to shout at me. You don't have to shout at me.
I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting.
All I'm saying is,
I'm answering yours too.
If you think Jack Grealish, one at a time. If you think that Jack Grealish hasn't done anything for Manchester City, then you don't watch Manchester City. If you think that Jack Grealish,
I never said that.
Flop, but if you think he's a flop, but he gets picked by the best manager in the world, in the best team in the world, right? Jadon Sancho doesn't get picked in our team. He doesn't make the bench.
You're not the best team in the world, though, are you?
No, but well, okay. If you want to start picking shit about the best team, see what I mean? It's Man United mentality, Premzy, in it. You know what I mean? You're not the best team. No, we're better than you. We're better than you, innit?
That's nice.
Guess what? We're better than both of you right about now.
So you're not going to be champions.
I don't know, but wait, I'm let me enjoy my motherfucking moment.
Anyone would think these lot twisted us for 6 last week.
You know what, boys? Look, we can speak about this all day, man. You know what I mean? We can all speak about it all day long. But look, people, we've come to the end of the show. We're going to leave it on that. We're going to leave it on the Grealish and the Sancho situation. But make sure you smash a like on this video before you exit, people. Go and follow Big Steve. Check Big Steve out. You should all know who he is unless you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years. Same with Cass. Obviously, never a foul on Trafford Tunnel as well, Cass. He's got a few other bits and bobs. Just go on there, follow him. And bro, it's being emotional. Love the show. Top guest. And we'll be back next week, people. Bye, brothers.